We're live. Oh,
Hi,
my hair
guys.
look?
Your hair looks JBF. It looks fantastic.
Oh my God, your tits look great.
Thanks. I just had
yeah.
them done. I said, make them look half the size as my sister's, please. At least half. And this
But
is
perky.
But perky, exactly. Till I take my bra off and then.
I love it. Someone just opened the door to the studio just as I said, your tits look great. And then they shut
And they
the
went
door.
like this. No, they don't. Who was it? Someone we
I
know?
have no idea. I think it was some
Yeah.
red. I didn't recognize whoever it was.
The UPS
They're
man.
just like, oh my God, what did I just walk into? What kind of a shit show is this?
Exactly. That was the name I considered, actually.
Shit show?
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh my God, that'd be such a
Yeah.
great name.
Right?
Maybe that could be like all the excerpts. Actually, I
Yeah.
kind of feel like we already do that. A
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
both of us just wear a hot Carl mustache. Wait, no, that's when they shit on your tits. Dirty Sanchez. That's what I meant. to
Oh
say.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny you should bring up the hot Carl because we're going to be talking about Urban Dictionary stuff later. We're going to do a quiz.
Oh,
I want to do the Teresa Bod challenge to find out. I'm going to tell you the name of a bunch of Urban Dictionary stuff, and I want you to tell me what you think it should be
okay.
or what you think it is.
I'm in trouble today. Like
It's going to be really funny.
I am a billion synapses short of like a one-celled organism today.
Well, damn it, because you could do that to me, but I've already pulled up a bunch of stuff, and unfortunately, I
I'll
read
try.
it, so
I'll
I know
try.
what they mean. You've got creativity always.
Yeah. Okay.
You could have,
I'll just be open
yeah,
to what
just
the Yoniverse channels through me.
The Yoniverse
Yeah.
wants you to do this.
Yes, it's
And
true, and I'm her bitch.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're her sub.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, and we also said, I think in the intro that you would be drooling on your mic today, so I think people
It's
would be
so
disappointed
true.
if you weren't.
I am drooling on my mic today. I think you were talking about drop today, and I think I'm actually experiencing that. I went to an all-girl slumber party, a sweet sister slumber party this weekend, and God, we stayed up till dawn, and we made giant bubbles in the sunrise, and now we're all drooling on our tits, a community of women. But it was wonderful. I loved it because, it was, no offense to all the brothers. We love you too much. But that's why it was nice to not have any men there is because we all get so distracted.
It's
you
true.
know? It's like if you're in relationship with one, you kind of tend to, funnel your attention and caretake a little bit. And, for me, not having a significant other, it's just selfishly fucking great to get all of my bitch's attention. I get all the attention. Me.
Me.
Yeah,
Me.
exactly. I can't help it that I don't have a dick. Come
Yeah,
on,
that's
love me.
right.
Yeah, so we were there for each other, and my friend brought like a massagey tool. Not what you're thinking. No, not that
It
kind.
wasn't the one that we showed last week?
No,
on air?
it looked like none of those.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this awesome. I wish I could remember the name. It was just great. It had all these attachments, and we just laid on the floor and we were like massaging each other, and it was so great.
Was it the one that almost looks like a nail gun, but it has like a...
It did look kind of like a nail gun. I think
Yeah.
it was like called something like a Podoma or a Podona.
Okay. I think I've seen that. It's really powerful.
The
The big
Yeah.
focaccia bread?
It was focaccia bread. We just slapped each other with focaccia bread. All buttered the bread up and then lubed each other up, and
Oh my
I know.
Oh my goodness, this girl weekend sounds fun.
It was a great time. We did have one person with a penis, but it was just our friend Sexy Rexy, who's just the sweetest boogaloo ever. And so he's the only boy, well, him and one other boy that are ever allowed at our all-girl things. So I can even talk right. My tongue is like, we're still tired. We talked all night long on Saturday. But yeah, it was fun because Lindsay was there. And she was telling me, Teresa, we're finally having our sweet sister slumber party that you've always wanted. And for everyone out there, can I just tell the quick story?
Oh my God, please tell the story.
So
Yes.
we were coming back from Burning Man early because I was just fucking fried. Like, we ended up just having one of those years where the tent we had no ventilation. We'd stay up all night. We'd try to sleep during the day, and we couldn't do that because it was just too hot. So by the end of the trip, I was just insane. And Lindsay agreed to drive me back with her. And she didn't know it, but I was slipping a little sauce off to the side. And then so she was like, I'm getting tired. We just need to get like a hotel somewhere. Teresa, call this hotel. So I start to try to call. And she, I'm just bumble fucking the entire, effort. And she's like, Teresa, are you drunk? And I was like, well, maybe. So we get there. She's pissed off. And, she's like, oh, God, like she just wanted me to do one thing. And so she looks at me and she's like, stay in the car, Teresa. I'm going to go get us a room. And I was like, okay. So then, of course, as soon as she leaves the car, I'm like, I got to pee. I'll just slip out of the car and try and find a place to pee. So I go off in the parking lot and I see some like overhanging trees off in the corner. And I just think like, yeah, that looks dark enough. I'll sneak under there. So I go under the trees, and the next thing you know, I feel myself falling, just, and I'd fallen down an old, luckily it wasn't in use, like a sewage tunnel, like just a big cement tunnel.
God.
And then, so I'm in the bottom of this thing, like Silence of the Lambs, waiting for it puts the lotion on its skin, but else it gets the hose again, or whatever he said. And then, so I'm trying to figure out how to wedge my feet up against the wall. I finally get out, and then Lindsay, she's panicking, like looking for me. And she said she saw me coming out like this blood-covered Quasimodo from the darkness. And she's like, Teresa, I told you to sit in the car. And I was like, I'm sorry. So she goes up and she gets us a room. Long story short, I took Ambien. And I have a lot of Ambien blackout stories. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't take it anymore. But what happens is I could take it every night, but I can't take it if I drink. Mm-hmm. And I just wasn't in my right head. So I took Ambien, got in the shower, and it must have hit in the shower because that's where I lose memory and go into a blackout. She says I came out like naked, and I looked at her and I was like, hey, Lindsay, let's just have a sweet sister slumber party tonight. And I crawled in her bed and I wanted to cuddle her and stuff. And she put up with it for a minute. And then she was like, all right, Boyd, get in your bed or else I will. And, that went on for a little while. And then finally, she said, I'm like, fine. And then I get up and go through her purse, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting a cigarette. And she's like, you don't smoke. And I'm like, I do now. So then I go walk straight out the front of the hotel room naked and stand on the balcony smoking a cigarette over the freeway. And she's like, Teresa, get in here now. And I'm like, it's fine, Lindsay, it's fine. So, yeah. And then I got back into bed, and she's pissed and tries to watch Law and Order. And I was just said to her, like, will you turn that off? And so she turns off the TV. And the next day we get in the car. I don't remember anything. So yeah, I was like, as we're taking off, and she's just like, stonewalling me. I'm like, is everything okay, Lindsay? And she goes, oh, don't pretend you don't remember. Like that. And I was like, oh no, I don't remember. So she retold the whole story. And then, so at least that's why I bring it up, is that we finally had our sweet sister slumber party that I always wanted on Saturday.
You got your cuddles.
We got our cuddles. Long-awaited cuddles. Yeah. And it was like probably us and maybe 15 other women, something like that.
Wow.
And it was great.
Big group.
Maybe even 20, 15 to 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, but we destroyed ourselves together. It was great.
Oh, that happens.
So, yes.
You get excited. You destroy yourself.
Yep. And then you go through a drop on Suicide Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
When your brain is just completely depleted.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. No, fuck you.
Exactly. You know what you fucking did to me on Saturday? I want to tell you what you fucking did to me. You got me all fucking excited, and now here I am. I got nothing. I got nothing left in me.
Got nothing. I could have been a contender.
Got a bunch of receptors, and they ain't got nothing coming to them.
No,
It
but
sucks.
I wrung out my happy bag, on Saturday. On my little,
Did
my
you
happy bubbles.
shoot your load?
I shot my load. We all shot our load. We
Oh,
were
man.
psychic squirting all night long.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, I'm just going to go through what drop is really quick. And
Yeah, that's
technically, drop is usually used in reference to BDSM and like when you are in a subspace. There's also
and a subspace, Char. I love playing the idiot on this show
This is
because
so great.
A, I am. B, and then B, for those that are as innocently ignorant as I am,
Yeah.
I get to facilitate what does that mean?
Okay, and I'll try
Yeah.
my best to explain things as I understand them, and I may not be technically always correct. So it's worth looking up if you think I might be right or wrong.
Right. Chime in and correct us. We love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
I'm
love
just
it.
curious already. I have a million questions because you're the one
Yeah.
that knows about this.
Okay.
shiznit. Is
So-
it always related to a BDSM interaction?
Well, I don't think it has to be. I think subdrop probably is really specifically linked to it. But subdrop is when you're kind of doing a big scene, which a scene is like is an interaction between a dom and a sub. It's I think it's called a scene because it's like you're creating an environment in which you aren't playing your normal roles.
Right.
Like you're not Teresa necessarily, and I'm not Charlene. You're playing this role. I'm playing that role.
Yeah, and there's some kind of a power dynamic exchange
Yes.
going on typically,
Yeah.
and there's and people really discuss the rules of what the show are going to be ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it. I haven't actually done it, but
Yeah.
you know me. I just research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, and you got to see some of that in Hump, of course, but
Right.
yeah. So subspace is when you're receiving some sort of like kind of stimulation that's like maybe a little painful or that sort of thing.
High sensation.
Let's say yes, high sensation stimulation.
Or maybe even a lack thereof. Does that happen too? Where they
Yeah,
hold out on you.
Yeah. You can get some withholding. But you go into a subspace where you can have really high endorphins. Your enkephalin. Do you know how to say that? Enkephalin. Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know how to spell.
Enkephalin. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to say it. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with that. Your adrenaline, your dopamine, and even sometimes your oxytocin.
You said a new word, and I have to look it up now. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
you go ahead
keep
and look
talking
it up.
while I look it up.
I couldn't figure out a
Enkephalin.
way. I couldn't find a pronunciation guide for that, so I'm going with what I think it looks like it should be. And enkephalin is an endogenous opioid, which basically means it's an opioid that your body creates. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Which is probably part of the draw to wanting to engage in some of that sub activity or, kind of playing with your edges of high sensation.
It says they're either of two compounds that occur naturally in the brain. They are peptides related to endorphins with similar psychological or physiological effects. The more you know. Ding.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's basically you're high on these natural brain chemicals, hormones, and then you get like if you're doing a scene where you're getting high sensation stimulation over and over and over again, once it stops, you can have a really immediate drop of all of that chemistry, and it can feel really harsh, and that's why a lot of people need a lot of aftercare after something like that. So when you're doing a scene, you might need aftercare directly afterwards, and a lot of times that's going to come from the other person who is doing the scene with you or the other people. And that includes, sometimes a lot of comfort items, a lot cuddling, soothing sounds, a nice cup of tea, maybe.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation are so lovely. Yes. And that's because that's going to help kind of soothe you. It's going to bring up some oxytocin, where maybe you're feeling the drop of everything else. It's bringing up oxytocin for you. However, when you are just having a big ass weekend like you just had, or like I had 2 weekends ago, where it is this, you're hitting this really high, or like when you go to Burning Man or something like that, like you're having a huge event.
Yeah.
And you get so much stimulation and you're feeling so good and everything's love and sunshine and rainbows and unicorn farts and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then Monday happens and you're like, I'm still okay. I'm riding this wave. Like everything's still slightly less shiny, but it's still good. And then Tuesday comes along like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And thumps you in the head.
Yeah.
And and basically that's all of those. So your body's flooded, your brain is flooded with beautiful feel-good chemicals, and now there's nothing left.
Right.
Basically, I mean, there's some left, of course, but not enough. Maybe you built up some extra receptors for some of those chemicals in your brain, and now they're hungry. They're like sitting there going, feed me, I'm starving, like hungry hippos. They're like, there's no more marbles, and they're just going yum yum yum.
Yeah.
So the first sign is that you feel drained. You feel tired.
I have a question already, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So does this even happen? Like, so, I know that like in your community, people do like play events and stuff like that. Does this happen? So it's not just related to BDSM.
Right.
It happens in playtime events as well. Like I assume it's anytime your brain is really having like an elevated fireworks show of, intensity, good hormones, and also things like anticipation, for instance, came to mind, because anticipation really drives your dopamine levels up, and so I was imagining that even that's a part of it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that is something that we talk about at a lot of events. Like I think the last time I remember hearing about that was like at a massage à trois event, which is where you get a lot of touch. Obviously, it's massage. And actually, I think I can say this. Empowered Pleasure is a group that they throw those events, massage à trois right now. And they're really fun. It's a very sex positive event. It's very, they make a very nice safe container for it. And you get touched by a lot of people, and it feels really good, and you feel safe, and you feel loved, and you feel a little high and fuzzy afterwards.
Yeah.
And then, a couple days later, you're like, oh, all those feelings are gone, and I feel sad, and I feel so. You need aftercare. Whatever it was that got you there, you need aftercare. And sometimes I know that someone can't be there to give you aftercare. It's Tuesday. I had to work today, so I couldn't get aftercare if I wanted it. And so there are ways you can kind of give yourself aftercare. So what do? I would say the very first thing you do is you are gentle with yourself, and you try to remind yourself, this is what I'm going through. All of a sudden, everybody doesn't hate me all of a sudden. It isn't that everyone in my life who loved me 3 days ago suddenly hates me.
Right.
I suddenly haven't lost value as a human being.
Right.
I'm not,
Right. And that's one of the mistakes we make as humans oftentimes, where first we feel the emotion, then we start asking the question, well, what's wrong? Your brain is trying to figure out what's wrong, rather than just, accept the emotion or the hormonal state, and then, gently tend to yourself, radical acceptance, self-compassion, and tend to yourself. And, maybe even, I don't know, encourage yourself. Like you're saying, do self-care things that help to take care of your hormonal state and your comfort.
Yeah.
And your self-love and even connection with others, if that's what your deprivation is.
Yeah, for sure. And you can definitely seek the company of others that you find comforting in that time. And you can even plan ahead knowing that it's usually a couple days later that you're going to be feeling the feeling the blues.
Tuesday's going to hit you.
Suicide Tuesday. Yeah. So you can plan for that. And I do think that mindfulness is a great thing to bring about in this time. Almost any time I'm facing a hard emotion, I like to just try to observe it and go, I see you sneaky emotions. I see you coming up and you're telling me that none of my people love me anymore. Interesting,
Yeah.
And you just kind of, I think that really helps pull a lot of the power out of it, is to just kind of just observe it. Yeah, I'm feeling shitty because I had a really great weekend. And if you want to avoid that at all, don't ever have a great weekend. No, we're not going to do that. That's not happening.
Well, it's interesting. Even though I haven't done the BDSM thing, I was listening to, God, I wish I could remember his name, but he's a neurochemist. And he's got his own podcast, and I find him fascinating. And he was even talking about human happiness, and that how there's actually a natural drop that happens. We tend to think that it's the event itself that's going to make us happy, whatever you're working towards, a project at work, a personal goal, or, you're planning for a wedding or, a baby or whatever it is. We have that mistake. We all do, which is I'm going to be happy when I get there. I'm going to be happy when I get the thing.
Yeah.
And it's actually the dopamine ride that we're on, where we're working towards it, that motivating dopamine ride. That's actually where the majority of our human happiness comes from. And then, as soon as we, acquire the thing, the state, the thing, the product, then we have a natural drop off. And we naturally, of course, want to avoid it.
Yeah.
So then immediately we're like, oh no, negative emotions. I need the next good thing. Please, someone help me avoid this. And unfortunately, we set ourselves up to become less chemically happy in our minds when we're constantly just trying to jump to the next thing, because it's just like drugs. What happens when people get addicted to drugs, where you end up taking drugs, and then your body is like, well, I'll stop making all that dopamine because you're doing all this, whatever you're doing. And then, so of course you start to crash. So you want more, crash, want more. Yeah. And that happens even with activities in our lives, where it's like, if you don't let yourself have that natural drop off and you want to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, then your brain actually doesn't sort of readjust itself.
Yeah.
And, you kind of end up burning out all your happy bubbles.
Yeah. And that's a good way to frame it, is this is my brain readjusting to a more reasonable, or more, and I don't want to say normal, but what my normal is, what my baseline is. Because you can't always be peaking and then not drop, and then peak again and then not drop. That
you got to feel the deficit, and the deficit can sometimes be literally your brain chemistry. And sometimes the deficit can be just sort of it reminds me of times I've gone to Burning Man, where you're just like, oh my God, I'm in this temporary utopian society. And then, you're partying your ass off and you're having all this connection, in such a different, well, hopefully more authentic way, or more inspired way.
Yeah.
Hopefully. It can be a shit show at Burning Man or anywhere. We all know that.
It's all available.
Yeah, it's all there. It's just all turned up to 11. But then, when you come back to your normal life, and then it's, I'll meet my desk job, or whatever, grueling labor you have to do. And there isn't all that connection, and it's not as inspired usually.
Yeah.
So there is that necessity to, kind of back to life, back to reality.
Yeah.
And sucks a little bit.
It does.
But then you get inspired again to create more of that in your life somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe in a different area of your life, or through different channels. But it is, and you have to also acknowledge that this happens on two fronts. There's kind of the physical side of it, like the chemicals and stuff like that. Then there's also the cognitive side of it, which is your mind's interpretation of how your body's feeling.
Yeah.
And so for me, physically being very comforting, putting on fuzzy pajamas, keeping the house nice and warm and toasty, curling up in a blanket, wearing your favorite slippers, all that stuff.
Ordering Shandong Chinese food. That's what we did on Sunday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, my
That's
God.
it.
Their hot and sour soup is to die for. Okay.
Shandong.
Yep.
I want a different kind of Shandong.
Oh, yeah. Well, this will help. See?
Yeah.
When you've had enough of the other kind of dong, then you order Shandong. And, there's leftovers for your fridge.
Hot and
we always
sour
order way too much.
Shandong.
Hot and sour.
Hell yeah.
So tangy and good.
So you got the physical part and the cognitive part. And so part of the cognitive is to observe your feelings, is point out maybe any cognitive distortions that you're having, like, oh, everybody hates me, I'm super lame.
That's your mind looking for
the
justification for the hormonal drop, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I had drop last week because I had such a big weekend. And when I came here Tuesday and talked about it, I was still not dropped yet. I think I fully dropped maybe on Wednesday.
And maybe this helped. Like coming here, you're like, I've got that to keep you motivated on your dopamine, escalator.
Totally, yeah. My dopamine escalator was still going up. So these were my distorted thoughts and feelings. You're gonna love this.
I'm sure no one can relate.
No one's ever gonna relate to this. Nobody loves me.
Well, that's true, but go on. I'm glad I didn't have to tell you.
I'm not important to anyone.
All right.
Nobody, not even my kids. That's not enough.
Yeah.
I was feeling alone. I was feeling abandoned.
None of us ever feel like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I lived a life of absolute scarcity. There was no abundance in the world for me.
Yeah.
It was like Mad Max
Beyond Thunderdome. I'll say it for you. I know your mind. I could finish your sentences.
There was kind of some physical pain. It was centered like in my belly and like horrible nervousness. I wanted connection. I felt really vulnerable and super exposed. I felt like I had nothing but raw nerve endings over my entire body and no skin. Like I had been flayed. Hi.
Yeah. Right. This was after your magic weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm understanding.
Yeah. So I had so much great chemistry. And then Wednesday it was like crash. Like if I could do car crash sound effects right now, I would totally do that.
Yeah. Was that good?
Thank you. Very well done. And then I had nervousness and anxiousness. Like that really came up for me. And again, I felt it like in my body as well as my mind.
And you know what? I was thinking about it because like I, don't know as much as you did, but I watched like a video just to be like, I just wanted to know at least what the definition meant. Mm-hmm. And then I was feeling into why that could be as well. And it's like we go through society just always feeling like, we need to be perfect.
Yeah.
And we deny our vulnerability. And Brene Brown says that's a big no-no. Like it's the bad. It's bad. Yeah, because it's the backbone of intimacy and trust. And so, but we still all, because we're a part of that society that's just sort of like, put your best face forward and get out there and act strong and deny your vulnerable feelings.
God, I'm so good at that.
So good.
So fucking good at being strong and impermeable.
I think that you're better than you think, though, because you definitely are a person that has always been able to walk both sides of the fence. Like you can really go into a corporate situation and be like a badass, and I'd probably go in and just crap on the floor and cry. But
that's not a bad thing to do.
Breakdance in it. But then what I was thinking about is that like, so when you do these events where you're really challenging yourself to try new things, like if you're going into, like you did, the sex magic situation where, you ended up getting a diaphragmatic cramp and which led to an anxiety attack. And then
awesome.
you're forced to just like the mask cracks and falls off.
Yeah.
And everyone sees a part of you that you're not really willing. You're not choosing to let them see. You're just there. And so you're forced to. And so then after we expose ourselves in these really vulnerable ways, whether they're sexual, which is often relates to a lot of like emotional, vulnerability, or in BDSM, which I still haven't done that, but I can imagine that like, whether you're a sub or whether you're a dom, that there's vulnerability in both positions, like letting go if you're like the sub, being restrained and seen in this disempowered position, even though as far as I understand, you're still empowered because, of the safe words and, everyone communicating so well.
Yeah.
But even the dom, they were saying could have drops as well, because even though you're the dom and people see you as the one as being like the one in power, well, you're still actually very deeply connected to the sub and wanting in some way to play out a scenario that's pleasing, that works for both of you. There's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's vulnerability there too.
I think that's really well said. Thanks. I think that's absolutely true. Yeah. So other things you can do.
What?
You can take a nap if you feel like it.
No, I can't.
It's acceptable. It's totally acceptable. Take a nap. Sleep renews your willpower. It regenerates you. It's good. Sleep is good.
It stops the thoughts you're having now, and you reset.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would say have a plan to get out of bed eventually. Don't just go like, I'm going to spend all day in bed, because then that can actually start a cycle of kind of like spiraling downward, like emotionally, mentally. Cuddles, we said. Eat well. Like, feed yourself nutritious food afterwards. So you did a great job getting your hot and sour soup from Shandong. Like you didn't like binge on crap food.
I did that too, actually.
Because we don't talk about that.
I know exactly.
But yeah, treat your body well. Know that you're going through something, you're processing something, and that this is hard. You're doing hard work right now. And so treat your body really well. Care for yourself in the way that you would care for a loved one.
Good advice.
Hey, thanks. Write about your feelings, which is exactly what I did. My journal was full of, poor me, I'm so sad. But then of course I like kind of analyze it. Like I'd write, wah, I'm so sad, blah, 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 nobody loves me. And then I'd be like, well, probably not so true. Another great thing is find a playlist that meets you where you're at, but progressively lifts you up. So don't start with Katrina and the Waves, I'm walking on sunshine, because that's going to feel plastic and shitty. Like you want something, like start with something that's like a little smooth, soft, gentle, maybe a little melancholy, and then...
Like Kenny G.
Yeah. But then it picks you up slowly.
Right.
And just kind of, let it happen. Let your mood elevate slowly, but meet yourself where you are initially.
And I want to jump in and say, like, just to add, to make it all about me. I'm thinking too that it could be good in the journal writing thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned about the reticular activating system, it's kind of like the thing that's like the filter of life that everything goes through, that kind of dictates what your reality is. And they talk about retraining your reticular activating system by actually intentionally writing. And I started doing this. It sounds so cheesy to say a gratitude journal, but it's really important because our minds have a negativity bias, and that's like what's helped us stay alive from the beginning of time. We have the negativity bias, like where's the shit going wrong so I can fix it, and then we have the confirmation bias, so you look for how things are going wrong, and then you confirm, yeah, there it is, see, they don't love me. And it's really important to retrain your reticular activating system with these positivity exercises where, every night now I write in a little journal.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's really a great exercise. And what they say is to write about what went well in your day. What's going well? You have to, kind of encourage your mind through these rituals to focus on what is going well, what has gone well. And then you start to realize that things are going well. And what are the other things? Like, what's gone well? What did I learn today? They said that's a good question to ask.
That's really good.
And then who did I help today? You know, like what went well? What initiative did I take? You know, who did I help? And then really let yourself get into an emotional space about it. And I always find there's a little resistance when I start like, I just want some kind of passive fun entertainment.
Yeah.
But when I do that, it really does help me feel connected to the positive parts of my life.
Yeah.
And getting into that emotional space, I really do, that's why I've started sleeping better, and I've been having less nightmares, except for the one I had last night with Michael in it.
Oh my!
I'm just kidding,
Michael. Shame on you, Michael.
I'll tell you later. It wasn't really a nightmare. It was just really awkward.
It was
But
an awkward dream. I have a lot of those.
I think it was stimulated by my slumber party. It was a slumber party. Anyway.
Was Michael stealing bras and putting them in the freezer?
No, but he was not wearing the right pajamas. And so that's why it kind of awkward. I'm like, I'll tell you later. Sorry.
I love it. Oh,
Anyway,
I
okay.
wish you all could see his face when we say stuff like that. It's really the best. Other things you can do. Eating a little bit of chocolate. Don't just like sit and, eat 5 chocolate bars. That's going to make you feel poopy. But some dark chocolate's really great. That can like temporarily boost your system. Masturbation or sex, like all of that's going to give you a little dose of wonderful neurochemistry. Exercise, same thing. So good for you. It's so important. And it might be the last thing you feel like doing. But I worked out like a son of a gun the last week, and it did make me feel better. Even though I walked into the gym like, fuck you, motherfucking piece of shit. I don't want to do this shit, motherfuck you. But I did it, and it felt good.
That's great.
Yeah, for all the right reasons. They also recommend coloring books, but I think what that amounts to is something creative, because you're going to start getting that little dopamine hit.
Right. And focusing your thoughts on something besides, God damn you, whatever Yosemite Sam tirade you're just going on of negativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice baths.
Yeah.
Showers, or a shower if you prefer that. There is one little way you can cheat. Oxytocin is a wonderful thing. You can actually buy it online. I think Michael's going to show us a link to where you can buy oxytocin nasal spray. I've used it.
Out of here.
It actually, it works. It's I bought mine from a place called Fair Love. Sometimes they actually have it on Walmart.com, but this is where I found it. And
is that going to make me fall in love with my dog?
It
like even more.
Jazz, I love you so much. It's gonna give you some nice, warm, cozy feelings right in your gut.
Like, you have to be careful what you're doing and looking at really while you're doing it. Are you gonna like attach like a little duckling, or a chick that it's like whatever it sees, it just attaches to.
You might.
You're my mother now.
Yeah. So don't watch. Yeah. Don't watch. Like I don't know.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah. Someone, like you don't want to get obsessed.
He'll never hug me back. He never calls.
Yeah.
He never writes.
But maybe you have some affirmations that you want to read to yourself while you're taking oxytocin spray or something like that. Like
right.
Or you could do that journaling practice where you write down good things that happened.
And or look in a mirror and masturbate.
Yeah. Love me. Love so yourself. Much. That's right.
Oh God.
I'm a beautiful person and I'm worthy.
There you go.
And then there's also a belly massage that one can do to release some oxytocin. You might know about this, massage therapist.
Always go up the left, over on the right, and then down. Did I say up the left? I'm so dyslexic.
Up the right.
Up the right. Over across the belly and down, because that's the way the large intestine runs.
Yep.
And you don't want to back your poo up or your poo gas.
Yeah.
So you want to work it all out.
I got enough poo backed up. I'm full of shit.
Well, you've always been a little full of shit. If we have to.
So you just go in a big circle through your whole abdomen, very slow circle, and you kind of like sort of push you don't want to push so much that you feel like you're shifting your internal organs a whole lot, but that is supposed to, during pregnancy, if you do that, that is supposed to release oxytocin and helps mom and baby bond. But it can also just, you as a person without a baby in your abdomen it can help release some oxytocin there as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing you can do. I like to set up pillow fort and hug pillow fort. So basically I will lay in my bed and put pillows all around me and like hug it, throw my leg over it. You know
what's funny about that is that's how I sleep every night. I look like a hot dog in a bun. There's just 2 body pillows on either side, and I just flip over, hugging from one to the next. So,
you do that all the time. Yeah, normally I'm more like I don't want anything touching me while I sleep typically, but when I'm in a little bit of a, needier space or like, feeling more vulnerable, I do need that, like
I'm always vulnerable and needy.
So not what I meant, but
a lonely little hot dog in my little bun.
She's a hot dog who needs a bun.
I know.
We got any buns out there for her?
I relish my buns.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure lots of people would relish your buns.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe.
Or mustard or mayonnaise them.
No turds, thank
you. And then my final word on drop and just like healing yourself from kind of big moments when you feel like you've fallen a long way is do not try to solve any major disputes. Do not discuss relationship stuff when you're feeling down like that.
Wait till you're drunk to do that.
and don't dial an ex. Just don't do it. You go. It's not going to be good. You're not going to be coming from a space of being centered and grounded.
Unless they really have it coming. And then I would say, fuck, do it. I'm just joking. No, don't do it.
Don't do it. But I learned, so I've been getting into this communication stuff a lot more lately. I learned last night that unsolicited advice actually causes, it hits the same part of your brain as physical pain.
Really?
And you know that feeling. We all know that feeling when someone is giving you unsolicited advice.
Oh, no, because I'm the queen of unsolicited advice.
And you feel that?
Holy shit.
You're hurting people all the time.
I'm trying to help, but I'm hurting.
But I always wondered what that was. Like when someone's giving me advice and A, I don't feel like they're qualified to give it, or B, I'm not in the mood for it or something like that. I get this like shrinking feeling like, oh God, this is horrible.
Like you're getting slimed.
Yeah.
Get it off of me.
Like get your crap off me. I don't want it. It hits the same part of your brain as physical pain. And I was shit. That makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, no. So, I have to change my personality.
No.
I'm just joking.
Well, I guess
that is great for me to hear.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Yeah. It made me think about how much I do that too. And I guess one way that you can kind of get around that is go, wow. Well, if you're, if you ever feel like hearing my 2 cents on that, I'm totally open to it. And then if they solicit the advice from you, then it doesn't hit the same.
Gotcha.
It actually feels better.
It's all about consent.
It is about, everything's about consent. I swear to you, it is.
Thank you. I just learned a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did that feel bad? Did it feel like physical pain when I said
just
that?
Just a moment of remorse for how I've done that my entire life and all weekend long.
Haven't we all, though? I mean, haven't we all?
No, not as much as I do. I guarantee it. I think it's part of my impulse control problems, just like, oh, I'll tell you. But also it's the empathy of like, oh, I can't control my own empathy. I'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
And then neither one of us have to feel your pain.
And I think that's where a lot of that comes from is that not being able to handle someone else's pain and going like, I want to help so bad. And maybe the person just wants you to sit there and listen and go, yeah, dude, that sucks.
Right.
Sorry.
I even developed a theory that I think that's where some people's abuse comes from. Like basically if we're talking about like an abusive parent, if the abusive parent has never learned self-soothing, And they're, the child gets upset and it triggers the parents upset and they don't know how to self-soothe themselves. Then they're just like, must smash stimuli. I'll get you to stop having your feelings that I can't soothe and control within myself.
Yeah.
But if they could just soothe and control it within themselves, then they could hold the space for, their tiny globules spazzing out and, sobbing and stuff. But
totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of like shaking the baby, but with kids. Like, so you
stop crying. Stop crying.
So you basically, the person, the adult would basically threaten them into shutting up, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And ironically, abuse and trauma stunts the right prefrontal cortex development, which is what we use to self-soothe. See the cycle of abuse? Do you see it?
Oh, God. This is terrible. Oh, my God. So we have 10 minutes. Do you want to play a game?
Okay, let's play a game. Yeah.
So
is that Ryan Gosling?
I think it is Ryan Gosling. I'm on Urban Dictionary, and I've looked up some very fun terms, and I want to see if Teresa knows what they are.
I guarantee I don't. I just know the 80s basics.
Okay, well, we're gonna even test your knowledge on those because I had some of them wrong, and we're gonna talk about what we thought they were.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, upper decker.
Oh, that's when you take a dump in the water tank on a toilet. Where's our dinger? Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. Teresa gets a point.
Yay,
all right.
Yay. 1 point, 1 point.
She gets 1 point.
Oh my God, there's something I might be successful at in life here.
And I want to read the description of it. Step 1, make sure nobody's around. Step 2, quietly open the lid of the upper section of the victim's toilet. Step 3, quietly place the lid down on the floor. Step 4, take a nice shit in the upper section of the toilet without anybody hearing you. Step 5, wipe your ass. I'm glad they included that.
Yes,
Step
very
6,
important.
Place the soiled toilet paper in the upper section of the toilet or in a drawer or magazine.
Because you don't want to flush the toilet.
Yeah, because then the shit will just be down in the lower deck.
Right.
Slowly lift the lid off the floor, put it on the toilet. Here's the hard part. With your fingers under the lid, slowly place the lid on the toilet. No false moves or you're screwed. All right. That's the upper decker.
And
okay, here's...
I got one.
Okay. Maiden log.
A maiden log.
Yes.
I actually haven't heard of this one before.
I hadn't either.
A maiden log.
Yeah.
Is, I don't know. I mean, obviously it has something to do with a woman taking a shit.
Oh, you're close.
No.
It's the first turd of a burly dump. It's like your maiden voyage. The maiden log. It's me firstborn.
Gotcha. The maiden log of the morning.
All right. Here's one from the 80s.
Okay.
Rusty trombone.
Oh, I know that. That's when you're licking someone's asshole.
Yeah.
And you give them a reach around.
You got it. Ding, 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 ding. I got another boy.
Yep.
Yeah, Rusty Trump.
Winning.
And your nickname used to be Rusty.
Yep. All my friends in high school, some of them still call me Rusty.
Oh,
Rusty tromboner, Rusty bed springs, Rastafarian.
Yeah.
Crusty, musty, busty. Yep.
All right. Hot Carl.
That's when you shit on someone's tits.
Well, all right. This one had me baffled. I always thought it was pooping on someone's face.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, wait. No. I used to think it was tits. And now...
I did think it was face for a while. You put saran wrap on their face?
Yeah.
Or is that when you...
That's a hot Carl.
That is.
Yeah. And you put the saran wrap, I think, if you're a polite person.
If you're polite before you shit on their face.
If you're impolite, you just go straight for it. So, yeah, that's a hot Carl.
Okay.
Now, they said...
I was close.
Mostly everyone is wrong. A hot Carl is putting saran wrap over the face and taking a dump on it. Anal to oral is called a rusty trombone. Dumping on the chest is a Cleveland steamer.
Okay. That's right. Because now I got it confused with a glass bottom boat.
Yeah.
Now, glass bottom boat Is that on the test?
I've got it here. It's next.
Oh, good.
We're going to say, okay, then shitting on someone's tits and then fucking it is called a chili dog.
Right.
I forgot that one too.
Delicious.
Delicious chili
making me
dog,
hungry.
everybody. Coney.
Yeah. And the glass bottom boat is when someone's under a glass coffee table and then someone straddles the coffee table and takes a dump, right?
You get major points for this. You're actually winning against Urban Dictionary at this point. I think it might be a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you totally got it.
Finally winning.
You're
That's
winning.
something. Oh,
All right, this was a new one to me.
Okay.
Alaskan snow dragon.
Alaskan snow dragon.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
It's so bad. It's hardly.
I mean, Alaskan snow dragon. There's got to be, let's see. There's got to be like a dick and jizz because that's probably the dragon and the snow is the jizz.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm deducing. Power of deductive
God,
reasoning
you're
here.
good.
But Alaska, it's got to be cold,
Yeah.
right? Or there's a bear involved.
Think about a cold action that one might take. A cold, something cruel.
Something cruel. A cold action.
Yeah.
Slapping them with your dick.
Oh.
No.
You're so close.
Am I close? It's nose fucking him. I know.
All right. I'm assuming this is a guy. When someone's giving you a blowjob, as soon as you come in their mouth, you yell, "I have AIDS," and then they shoot the cum out of their nose, and then you say, "Oh no, just kidding, I don't."
Oh, got you. So they're the dragon.
They're the dragon,
with
and the cum
the
shoots out of their
white
nose.
cum coming out of
Yeah.
their nose. I get it.
And actually, this isn't my favorite. I think the poop ones are way funnier. But this is
these
actually,
ones, it's just like a bunch of frat boys and probably people like you and me sitting around just going, I got another great idea. I just made one up. Because I've made up a few too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay. The last two,
yeah.
almost everyone's name has a meaning to it. And I have to say, yours is pretty damn close. Listen to...
Wait, my name is in the Urban Dictionary?
Teresa. A beautiful girl who is selfless. She puts her friends first. She is feisty yet nice. Comedian yet takes stuff seriously when it's necessary. She'll make you laugh on your worst days. She will do anything her friends ask her to. She's feisty when someone bullies one of her best friends. She's nice to people who deserve it. She's always ready to fight someone who's picking on her family or friends.
Yeah, see?
Don't lose a friend named Teresa.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Never let her go. You will regret it the next day.
Yeah, and support me on Patreon.
Yeah, support her on Patreon.
Okay.
You want to hear what a Charlene is?
Yeah.
All right.
What's a Charlene?
A Charlene. The most beautiful, most talented, most kind person you'll ever meet. I swear to God, I didn't write this.
Yes, you did, Char. Yes, you did.
Is very unique, funny, and brave. Not an attention seeker. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But gets more attention than she wants. Sometimes she hides from the fight. She does not discriminate or judge. She is always understanding and gentle. No, I'm not. She has an amazing body and soul. Maybe I do. She is the ultimate heartthrob without the ugly personality. I think I have one sometimes. She is the best lover and the sweetest girl you'll find.
Oh, yay.
Charlene.
Oh, Charlene. They were pretty off on that one.
Yeah, I know. They were fucked.
Sorry.
Idiots.
Yeah. I've known you all of my life.
I'm not that sweet. I'm not that innocent. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Wasn't
I like
fun?
that.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that. So maybe next time you can stump me with some.
I was trying to remember the ones I made up. Like, I remember one of them.
Give me one.
One of them was like, I think it was a strawberry shit cake. And what I imagined was it was like after you have like, bleeding anal.
Yeah.
And then,
wow.
And it's like beyond Santorum. It's like the turd that comes out, with
The
the
bloody
blood
turd?
and the jizz on top. That'd be a
Oh, and then the
strawberry shit
piece
cake.
of bloody toilet paper could be like the whipped cream.
There you go. I like it.
Strawberry
Thanks
shit
for adding
cake.
that sweet little touch.
I'm always
Yeah.
here for you.
Yeah, maybe Mattel will make a doll, the strawberry shit cake doll. The sweet, shitty smell.
Now it smells like fish and flowers.
Yeah, strawberry shit cake
Strawberry
might
shits.
smell like hell. Shitty little dog with a poop ass smell. Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm pre-ordering mine.
Yeah. Trying to think. I tend to make up ones that are more like edubation. That's when you are getting an education, but you have no intent to actually use it. Edubation.
Edubation.
Yeah.
I don't get the.
It's
the
like
combo,
masturbation.
Okay,
Dun, dun,
that's
dun.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid of those two.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of thing I make up. But,
Yeah.
I'll go down strawberry shit cake land with you.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I think that you need to like create the character. It should be one of our like little, stickers that we give out to fans and things like that.
Oh my God, I could draw her right now.
Yeah, it
She's
could be
gonna
in the
so
intro
cute.
of our show.
Yeah.
Just strawberry shit cake, break dancing,
Yeah.
working it.
How are you feeling? Has this helped your drop state at all? Has the
Yeah, it
dopamine
did.
from this?
It
Yay!
did a lot compared to just like sitting around and being ineffectual at everything. Although I did write some comedy improv today, some sketch comedy improv. Yes, for my characters, Sasquatch. And I had a lot of
your
fun.
face is amazing.
Thanks. I'm channeling Sasquatch.
You really are.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
So I was doing some channeling of Sasquatch,
Aw.
and I wrote a scene for Prunting, and then I
Fabulous.
did think of like I'm always thinking of like infomercials that I want to do. I thought like the Glade butt plug would be fun to do.
Oh my
plug
God.
it in, plug it in, and then when you fart, there's that little smell, and people in a grocery line are like, "What is that? It smells like heaven in the Everglades." Whatever. Yeah, and then the person that farts is like, "Mm-hmm, gling,"
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You need to just make up
never be afraid to
random
fart
things.
again.
Yeah.
I always do. I just need like a production team.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to have to do the everything.
The video
know?
editing especially.
Yeah, it's like I have the idea. It would be great, but then I have to basically, create the space and lighting and hook up all the wires and then the fucking editing. Why? God, why?
Oh God. Oh my
Bane
God.
of my existence, editing.
Truly.
I know.
It's horrible. I want you to know that the result was you tied the Urban Dictionary. You
did?
You are as knowledgeable as an Urban Dictionary, I think.
Oh my God.
It's true. You're a legend.
I feel so spiritual.
You're a fucking legend.
I'm a legend.
Hey, we have your Etsy, like a link to your Etsy store that we could put
Yeah.
up. Let's do that because
I'm
we don't do
just-
enough self promotion here.
I've been really slow. I got really slowed down by that We're Not Gonna Fake It Twisted
Oh,
Fister
yeah.
video that I made. I tried to make a work of art, and it turns out that one of my friend's brother actually played guitar with Twisted Sister.
No
And then I was
way.
like, I'm gonna finish this. Dee Snider's gonna buy it. I just know it. But it is. I just got to get the fucker done because it is slowing me down. It's at this point, when it's just not fun.
Yeah,
And that's why
I
it takes
do.
forever. But I'm just about to ramp up again and start to make my Christmas ornaments for everybody.
You guys, these
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yes.
They are snowmen with penises.
Well,
and-
they are penises.
Oh, snowmen that are penises.
Yeah, they're
and-
blowmen.
Blowmen.
Yeah, blowmen.
That's right.
And then there's the Lusty, the snow woman, and she's just a big happy twat. Smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer.
We've been making these things since we were kids. You have just perfected it.
Yeah, I got my start with making anatomically correct gingerbread man cookies.
Yeah.
And then I figured out, like, oh my God, if I make these out of clay, I can turn them into ornaments. And who knew that it would never get old.
My favorite one was like one of the first ones that you did, and it was Santa with the front of his pants unzipped, and I think he had a cigarette or a bottle of beer in his hand, and he was jerking his dick, and like Santa had like fingernails even. Like there was
Yeah.
so much detail on this thing. I was just astounded by it. Like, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and I
love
think I
these.
made my first Little Saint Dick, which is just like a dick Santa Claus, that's a penis with little booch on the bottom of his balls.
Oh yeah, I
and
love that
stuff.
guy.
I made that, the first one of those. I remember giving it to the first love of my life, Benjamin. And,
Oh, Benjamin.
yeah, and then he broke it and broke up with me. I don't know why.
He broke your dick
Yeah, he
and your
broke my
heart.
dick and my heart. Yeah,
And
well.
killed Santa Claus.
Yes, yes.
Saint Dickless.
He couldn't see. That was my expression of love. I need to stop giving gifts to men. I remember the time also when I was in love with Stuart, I found a prosthetic leg at Goodwill, and I planted a plant in it and brought it over to his house. It still had the rubber foot on the bottom, and he looked at it, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, put it in your house. It quickly died, and they left it outside. People just don't get me.
They just don't understand. They don't understand.
They don't understand the genius.
Rare genius.
Yeah.
It's 6:00. We did it.
Woo!
We made a podcast.
Eiffel Tower.
Hey, I got the booty.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning into our tuna.
Yeah, and remember to write us at wasthatAnorgy@gmail.com and follow us and subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And what else?
Let's see. You started the Patreon.
Yeah, we started a
So
Patreon.
you want to start to, throw down for us lovely ladies.
Because this shit's expensive.
Yeah, this all costs money. Surprise, surprise. Just like everything else.
Yeah.
But then also, what else did you do? Let's see.
We've got an Instagram.
Ooh. Instagram. God, there was a new one. Okay, you get Patreon, you get Instagram. I remember. Do subscribe on YouTube, even if you'll never even watch it again, because actually, the more people subscribe and the closer that gets us to being able to get some ad money. And we'll never do the mid rolls. That's a really dicky thing to do.
That's super dicky. Yeah.
Super dicky. But just being able to have little tiny ads here,
like a
and there
banner,
eventually.
just a banner. That's all we want. Just a banner on the bottom.
Get in the way. Yeah. I can see the picture. It's just going to be right below our tits, just a little banner, like a shelf.
Yeah.
For your boobs.
Yeah. Will you help us buy banner ads if we promise it will never cover our tits?
We promise.
Or. Yeah, I'm wondering, can you do a topless one on Patreon? Can you do topless?
If there's banner ads, we could go topless. See, we could just, but if they click, we'll get in trouble if they get rid of the banner.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We should just be topless, but then have black cardboard bars like this, our own sensor bars.
Oh my God, I actually have little X pasties that look like the little X's they put over nipples.
Let's talk about this at our after orgy business meeting.
Did you see that thing? It was it attacked me. I was like, my God, my mic attacked me.
We should let our beautiful sound engineer go. Okay, thank you. We love you.
Yes, we love you. See you next Tuesday.
Are you calling me a cunt again?
You.
In front of everybody. I am so humiliated.
The beaver Steve. I got a beaver.